Joining me now is Bryce Bradley from Thunderstruck. Bryce, before we get started, what's your symbol and what exchange are you on?
Our symbol is AWE on the Venture Exchange, TSX Venture. We're also trading in the US OTCQB under the symbol THURF, THURF.
Thunderstruck.
Yes.
Tell me about Thunderstruck.
Thunderstruck, I started 6 years ago with Brian London. He's a co-founder and one of the largest shareholders, as am I. He runs the New Orleans Investment Conference, very well respected in the industry. He has gold newsletter that he writes as well. And we just decided, since we've been in the industry for such a long time, why don't we start from scratch, and then we'd have control over sourcing the best projects that we can and the best team that we can to see if we can make a go of it.
And your project, you're in Fiji.
All in Fiji.
Yeah.
And it's not like we targeted that country, because it's more, a lot of Australians and New Zealanders are working in Fiji, a lot of Asians, but it's not that popular. It's not as popular a country to mine in for Canadians in the United States, just because of its distance.
Partly because we're unfamiliar with it. We don't know much about it. We hear more about Africa.
Right, surprisingly.
Surprisingly. Tell me, what's the jurisdiction like for mining in Fiji?
It's really good, safe jurisdiction. They've been mining for over 80 years. They have a gold mine to the north of ours that has mined over 7 million ounces of gold so far, and there's several million of ounces left as well. So the Mineral Resource Department, they adhere to the British mining law from back in the colonial days. So they're extremely mining savvy, and they have a very educated workforce, a skilled labor force coming out of that gold mine. There's another mine that's in development called Lion 1 that's going to be producing in the next couple of years, also very close to ours. So it's a favorable jurisdiction.
Well, that also speaks to the fact that there will be infrastructure in place. So you're not going to have to build that as well.
All the infrastructure is there. No, all of the infrastructure is there. They have a deep water port. They have a hydroelectric dam, paved roads throughout the country. So that's been taken care of too as well in the last 40 years or so. I think it's improved.
And this project is a combination of zinc, copper, and gold?
Right. So we have 4 projects. One is copper gold, one is pure gold, and 2 are VMS zinc-copper, high-grade zinc and copper. And on the one, we just announced a joint venture with JOGMEC.
And this is big.
This is huge for us.
Tell me about that deal.
We're
how did
just
it come
a little
together?
Company.
Yeah. How did you manage to attract that kind of attention?
Yeah, they're an $11 billion Japanese entity, exploration company. And we've been in negotiations with them for exactly a year. To today, I believe I met them here at PDAC for the first time, and they've been doing due diligence on the country, on management, and on our assets ever since then. And we just signed the deal a couple days ago for them to earn in 70% over 3 years for $3.5 million just on our one zinc copper asset.
So what does that say? What does that say to you? What does it say about this project? What does it say about the company?
It's wonderful. I know. It de-risks investment for any investors who are somewhat reluctant to invest in a country like Fiji, where they just maybe don't know much about it. It de-risks anyone's questions or concerns around management, because JOGMEC has allowed us to be the operator while we're in country. So that gives a lot of a good nod to current management and our team in the ground in Fiji. So overall, I just think the Mineral Resource Department, the government of Fiji, is highly supportive of this joint venture. JOGMEC is very well respected. They've been in the country before, and it just puts us on the map for other joint ventures on our other assets. We're currently in discussions with other groups on those assets. It just makes due diligence for them a lot easier going forward.
Well, part of that due diligence is you. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, well, okay, every team is led by somebody. Tell me about you. How did you wind up in this situation where you have attracted this incredible deal and this joint venture partner?
It's a zigzag path to where we are now. And my background is in investment banking, and I was raising capital for other people's exploration companies. But after you raise the capital, you don't always know what they're going to do with it, and we can't control how they're spending their money. So this is where Brian London and I came up with this genius idea that we would just start our own company, be directors, and be all the way along the process to build the team from the inside, raise the capital ourselves, etc., and get it to this stage. We want a joint venture. We want to find a mine in Fiji or more, one or more mines in Fiji. It's a lofty ambition.
Right.
A little bit harder than I thought it might be, but that's good.
But clearly that doesn't stop you.
No, it hasn't. You just learn along the way. This is my first publicly traded company that I've ever started. Everyone who's been successful in our industry has had a first.
Yep.
Obviously. And I just work that much harder to make sure that this is gonna work. We have great relationship with the landowners, all the way up through government, and it's a very strong relationship with our shareholders. They're extremely supportive. They know that this might take time, and the JOGMEC is just our first big, I guess, nod in success.
Okay, I know that you're just settling down and catching your breath from having signed this deal, but where do we go from here? What are the next steps?
So I meet with them tomorrow. We're going to hopefully sign off on the exploration program for 2019.
Mm-hmm.
We want to map the entire property. It's 30 square kilometers, high-grade
Fair
zinc.
size, yeah.
It's a fair size,
Yep.
and Anglo had drilled it back in the late 70s. They had done a small resource, but 8% zinc and 2% copper, high-grade. Almost all of it where they drilled is at surface or very shallow depth to 100 meters of oxidization. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's most likely going to be an open pit. So we're going to map the entire property, do some ground geophysics, and then we intend to drill, twinning some of the old Anglo holes so we can get some fresh core out of the ground. They want to make a production decision within 3 years. So it's very aggressive.
Wow,
No.
that is moving incredibly fast.
Yeah, they're going to be a good partner.
Very good partner. And what else do you have on tap as far as the company is concerned that investors were going to want to know?
So while we have this program going on with JOGMEC, we've just done some ground geophysics on our gold asset and our copper porphyry. So investors can expect to see news flow on that. They leave the ground sometime next week, so we have to get the details and get the results back. So investors can expect that, and we're going to get back on the ground and hope to do some drilling on the gold asset and the copper this year. That's a hope. Not entirely sure.
You are busy.
Yes, it's going to be a busy day. Busy day, busy year.
There are people who will have never met you. They're watching this for the first time, and they're saying, okay, maybe I want to put my money with you. What's your pitch to them?
The pitch?
The pitch.
Our market cap is merely $5 million. JOGMEC alone is putting $3.5 million into just one of our assets. We have 4 assets. Zinc prices are very strong and in demand. Copper prices are still strong. We own the other assets 100%. To me, it's a no-brainer. Exploration deals take time, but so far we've played this correctly.
Well, in that world, you're moving at lightning speed. So
right.
Obviously you've
not
got
geologic,
yeah.
not geologic speed.
Right. No, thunderstruck speed. Maybe.
That's why we named it that.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Because you just went, oh, you were thunderstruck?
We want people to be thunderstruck. And so in the last few years when things are a bit slow, I was like, oh, well, this might have been a misnomer because nobody's going to be thunderstruck quite yet. But hopefully times have changed now. We finally arrived.
Well, and they probably are now, especially with the announcement of your joint venture partner.
Yeah, they're going to be a very good partner. Thank you, Stu.
Thank you. Pleasure meeting you.
Nice to
All the
meet you
best
too.
with this project.
Thank you.
Yeah.